Deal done, folks. Audi and Porsche will be joining F1 in 2026. After months of rumors and controversy, Volkswagen has confirmed that Porsche and Audi will indeed be joining motorsport racing in 2026. This will be new terrain for Audi, while Porsche will be returning to the grid after almost 4 decades. This announcement has generated a lot of mixed reactions in the F1 community. Some teams and players are reportedly excited about the new announcement, especially Red Bull, who's eyeing a potential eye-watering partnership with Porsche. But other teams have complained that Porsche and Audi's entry could give unfair advantages to other teams, especially the rival, Red Bull. Now before we get into what who are saying, let's understand why Audi and Porsche's entry is such a big deal in the first place. Like Volkswagen CEO pointed out, being a dominant force in F1 takes time, usually 10 to 15 years. And the only way to make a quick breakthrough is by some lucky rule change. And that's what has happened in the case of Audi and Porsche. The FIA wants to encourage teams to join F1, so it decided to relax the power unit budget cap for new entries in 2026. Audi and Porsche will receive an additional $10 million each for the first 2 years, then $5 million in the third year. Both teams will also receive $50 million in capital expenditure allowance. This is great news for Audi and Porsche, who are more than eager to join F1. But it's sad news for other teams who fear that both newcomers will have significant advantages over them. This concern is because of the second condition attracting Porsche and Audi to Formula One. Both newcomers have pointed out that they would like to use more electric-reliant engines in 2026. They have made it clear that they would like a reduction in the fuel tank capacity, taking it from 110 kilograms to 75 kilograms. Plus, the FIA has already mentioned that it will be cutting out the MGU-H component from engines in 2026. With a lower fuel capacity and a removed MGU-H component, many teams will have to seek alternative means to make up for the power loss. They could increase the battery capacity, but that would add extra weight to F1 cars, and many teams worry that their cars are already too heavy. This is why many teams are concerned about the entry of Porsche and Audi in 2026. They fear that both newcomers might use technology that will provide them a significant racing advantage over other teams. There is another concern, one that's more technical. Porsche will be using Red Bull powertrains in 2026. Many fear that Red Bull will get a competitive advantage over rivals because it will be able to share information with the incoming teams, particularly information about the power unit, which could give Red Bull a huge boost on the track. While there are some concerns, Red Bull is very excited about the potential partnership. Red Bull team boss, Christian Horner, had this to say when asked about Porsche and Audi joining F1 in 2026. "I think it's great news for Formula One, that brands such as Porsche and Audi are looking at entering the category. It's great to hear that there is that clear intention, subject to regulations, to enter the sport." Red Bull's excitement might be down to a potential partnership with Porsche. Christian Horner admitted to having talks with Porsche about partnering together in the future. Where we are on our journey is non-dependent on an OEM coming in and partnering with a team. But of course, it would be logical to hold these discussions. Now that we have that clarity from VW's side, it will obviously be sensible for us to engage in more detailed discussions. It's exciting for F1, it's exciting for Porsche and for Audi, and potentially for Red Bull. Eye-wateringly exciting. Christian Horner had one complaint though. He believes the $50 million capital expenditure budget given to new teams would not be enough to help them compete with big brands, especially brands that have had up to 70 years invested in their engine. He believes that with only $50 million, it will not be realistic to have a fully operational engine department in 8 months. On the surface, it might look like Christian Horner is just concerned about the new teams, but it might be down to the fact that Christian Horner would benefit from a larger budget for new teams, as it has already been announced that Red Bull is looking to partner with Porsche in their engine development. Whatever the case, Red Bull is certainly enthusiastic about the new entries in 2026. Other teams do not share the same excitement. They are concerned that the engine partnership between Red Bull and Porsche could lead to some significant information sharing. They fear that Red Bull will have access to Porsche's power unit info and that of Audi, resulting in powerful information sharing that would lead to a significant competitive advantages for the three teams. If this happens, the FIA would have some major policing to do. Another person that has shared his views on this is the Mercedes star racer, Lewis Hamilton. He said, "I mean, I knew about it a long time ago already, so I think it's great that we're going to get new manufacturers within the sport, especially as you see there are a lot of teams that have the potential to be top teams but are our customers' teams. So I think it's going to be great moving forward, and so we welcome them in." His team boss, Toto Wolff, was not so optimistic. Though he isn't against new teams joining F1, he worries that there isn't enough done to stop sharing of intellectual property. He told reporters that, "It's great if the Volkswagen Group joins F1. Fantastic brand. it increases the credibility of what we do, and they are racers. But as far as I understand, there is no firm commitment yet. They've been sitting on the table for the regulations, but while that commitment isn't actually confirmed, we can't really know what the plans are. I think that it's not clear yet who actually enters as a power unit supplier, and who declares themselves as newcomers. It could well be that there are 3 companies from the same group that are entering as newcomers. How can I say? The picture is still very unclear. He has pointed out that they will need to reform the inter-team alliance regulations to prevent the sharing of intellectual property. This view has also been shared by Ferrari boss MATTIA BINOTTO, who welcomed Volkswagen's entry into the sport, but also said that there were issues that needed to be solved. According to BINOTTO, there are open points which are on financial regulations because they need to be finalized and formalized. What is a newcomer, and how do we define a newcomer? What are the benefits of a newcomer? All that needs to be somehow clarified and defined. On top of that, is all the IP transfer, because IP transfer should not be possible. That was agreed. On how we translate that into wording is difficult to know. There are points on the technical side that are still open discussions. So many things need to be moved forward and finalized. And from now to June, time is certainly very short, which means we need to work on it as a high priority. So as Porsche and Audi prepare to join F1 in 2026, some teams are concerned about how sharing of intellectual property might become a competitive advantage for Red Bull, Porsche, and Audi. As things stand, the FIA would need to step up to ensure that while Audi and Porsche get a smooth transition into F1, their partnership does not constitute a problem for other F1 teams. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so you never miss out on exciting videos like these.